In times like this where we are stuck at home most of the time and school is online, discussions can be hard, even with things such as Zoom and Google Meet. But some apps can help solve that problem, and one of them is Padlet. Padlet is an amazing app that teachers and students can use, but like all apps, Padlet also has its flaws and disadvantages. To know what those flaws are, let's dive in and review the app. But first, what is Padlet? Padlet is a platform where we can discuss and share ideas, write the summary of your book, or tell stories and lame old tales. It's basically a platform of discussion. You might ask, but wait, we can just do those things in Google Docs and discuss it in class meetings. So what's the point of having a Padlet? Glad you asked. With Padlet, you don't need to worry about lags, disconnections, unsent dogs, and boring templates. You can write without being disconnected, change backgrounds, and best of all, you can see your friends' work. On top of that, teachers can easily monitor students without having to go through 20 plus tabs. Despite it being used in online classes, or at least my online classes, Padlet doesn't necessarily replace any classroom activities that we usually do before the pandemic. It's more of an alternative to discussions, but teachers can get creative and create new activities. They can use Padlet as a reading log journal, or they can use it for reflections at the end of every Friday, or they can even use it to tell spooky stories at Halloween. There are a lot of things teachers and students can do with this app. Padlet is very simple and super easy to use. Anyone could easily use a Padlet with little to no problems. Besides that, teachers can monitor students easily without having too many problems. They just have to sit back and watch their students write. Not to mention, Padlet gives you a 100% discount when you sign up. Because Padlet is online, it depends on internet connection or Wi-Fi. If your internet connection is bad, then you'll experience lag, slow response, or even crashes. Despite it being easy to use and really useful, it's not the best app of its concept. It doesn't allow much customization, space, especially for an essay or report. It can get a little cramped while writing in Padlet. Padlet is more useful than effective. You could use it to write a long 2,000-word essay, but it's not going to be effective. You could use it to share your opinions about the final episode of The Amazing World of Gumball, but it might not have the best template to do it. It's still a great app with an amazing concept, but other apps can do better. One of those apps is Google Jamboard. Google Jamboard is an app with the same concept as Padlet, but it has an entirely different layout. That layout is what makes Google Jamboard better, at least in my opinion. Google Jamboard's layout allows more customization and space, something Padlet lacks. It allows Google Jamboard to not only be useful, but also to be effective. I would still recommend Padlet to both teachers and students, as it gives them a platform to share ideas, opinions, and it gives an alternative to traditional class discussions. But if students and teachers want something more effective, you could use Google Jamboard instead. In the end, it's all about who's using it. If you just want a platform to discuss and share ideas, then you could use Padlet. But if you want something more advanced, then you could use Google Jamboard. It comes back to who's using it and how they want to use it. In my opinion, Google Jamboard is better than Padlet, but it might be different for you. Maybe instead of Google Jamboard, Padlet is the app for you. Like I said before, it comes down to the user and how they want to utilize the app.